What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about a place in Norway called Flor og Fjære. And from what I understand, this is a tropical island in Norway. And to be honest, this really confuses me. How can there just be a random tropical island in Norway? I don't know. If anything, Norway is kind of known for being, beautiful but cold. The winter's kind of coming. And how's there just a tropical paradise? I don't, I don't know. But today, I'm very interested to learn more about this. And I don't know. This just seems like a very unique place in Norway. So let's check it out.
This is Flor og Fjære, a tropical island paradise near Stavanger, Norway. Yes, you heard me right.
What?
I'm in Norway.
What? There's even fish? There's even special fish and ducks, and it's so colorful. I mean, it's beautiful, but how? This is by Stavanger, he said?
Norway right now. These tropical gardens have shot to the top of my must-do list for anyone visiting Stavanger.
How?
From the boat trip here to the incredible variety of flowers and trees.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of tourists. There's a lot. This is a destination in Norway. I've never heard of it before, but apparently other people have, because you can see a lot of people visiting in the background. How did they accomplish this? This doesn't look like any part of Norway that I've ever seen.
The wonderful colours all throughout the gardens, to the locally sourced lunch that's served in the middle of a jungle restaurant. Keep
Wow.
watching to discover the story of this remarkable place.
Cool.
But first, this story begins back in Stavanger city centre.
Okay.
Good morning from Stavanger. I'm here in the Radisson Hotel in downtown Stavanger, and I'm just hanging around, pretty much waiting for my 11 a.m. departure to Flor og Fjære. This is the reason I've come to Stavanger for this trip, and these tropical islands are often referred to as the Garden of Eden of Norway.
The Garden of Eden in Norway. That is quite the title. Do most Norwegians out there, do you know about this? Is this a popular place to visit for Norwegians? Kind of like here in America, sometimes we like to go to Hawaii. Hawaii is like this faraway place in America that you can vacation, and it's very different and tropical feeling. Is this like the Hawaii of Norway at all? I don't know.
Norway, that's some impressive billing, so I'm looking forward to seeing whether it lives up to the hype or not. It's about a 15-minute walk from here to the ferry terminal, and the weather forecast is not great, but the sky looks clear at the moment, so fingers crossed it'll stay dry for the ferry over to the island and then the walk around the gardens.
Cool.
Not far from
This is how you know you're in Norway. You're walking. You're walking. No American would ever be caught walking, not even 15 minutes.
Stavanger, you'll find the small island Sørhilde. The gardens are located here on the island's northern tip.
Oh, it's outside of Stavanger. It's a small... So Norway has thousands of little islands, right? All along the coast. This is one of those islands on the coast of Norway. Sørhilde, where they built this tropical paradise, Eden.
And it's just 20 minutes by ferry from central Stavanger.
Wow.
That line through the island isn't a road bridge, by the way. It's actually an undersea tunnel. So this really is an island.
Undersea tunnel? You got undersea tunnels going? Wait, can we see that? That sounds amazing.
After a quick walk through the city, thankfully a dry one, I arrived at the dock and was quite surprised at the number of people waiting for the ferry.
Well, yeah.
A few minutes later, the ferry arrived and we boarded the Helgøytind, a very comfortable passenger ferry for the 20 minutes ride to the island.
This is also how you know you're in Norway. Ferries. You have ferries. I don't know if I've ever been on a ferry. They're very rare in the United States. Very rare. This is cool. Sort of a fun adventure leading up to the actual island.
If you've ever taken a small passenger ferry in Norway before, you'll know what to expect. My favourite spot, the open-top deck.
Nice.
I really enjoyed the view of the city disappearing behind us and the changing island landscape as we sped through the water.
Wow.
Upon arrival, you pick up one of the guided tours. The vast majority of passengers on board actually joined the Norwegian language tour, but I opted, with a few others, for the English tour. It was
Oh, wow. They have an English tour. I could actually go do this. I would understand. Holy cow. Is this a tourist trap? There's so many people here. A lot of older people. I don't know if these are Norwegians or if these are foreigners. This island seems to be a pretty big draw for people to visit.
It was a much smaller group. Our friendly local tour guide Robin began by explaining how this fascinating place came to be.
Yeah.
So everything out here started back in 1965. Back then there was nothing out here. There were no trees, there were no flowers. What we had a lot of was rocks and boulders, some really bad soil, and a lot of cold, harsh northwestern wind that was constantly coming over this part of the island.
So this was just an empty island that somehow they transformed it into a tropical island.
So all in all, this place was not a very fun place to spend your time.
But one local had a vision. Osman Breen bought land, built a cabin, and began to plant a cottage garden.
Wow.
As the garden flourished, Osman's sons joined the effort too. The family overcame significant challenges such as poor infrastructure and logistical problems to expand the gardens.
This is just one guy, one Norwegian, who had an eccentric idea. He bought land here, built a cabin, and over the last 50, 60, 70 years has been growing this island. That's really cool, actually.
Over time, Flor Fjære grew into a locally renowned garden, one which began to attract visitors from across Norway and even further afield.
Wow!
And at the beginning of the 90s, both Osmund and Olav started to receive phone calls from complete strangers. The call to ask if they could maybe come out here and check out the garden for themselves. So in 1995, Olav and his wife, Siri, they decided to open up the garden to the public. Came up with the name Flor and Fjære. So Flor for flowers, and Fjære means low tide in Norwegian. And in Norwegian,
Okay. Then it actually means something. I was just like, Flor or Fjære, I don't know. To me, that could be anything. It's actually a beautiful name. Flowers and tides and okay.
it's this clever play on words. In English, it does not make much sense, unfortunately. And they're expecting maybe around possibly even 250 guests that summer. And then Osman and Olav, they were going to show the guests around the garden, talking a little bit about how this all came to be, while Siri, she had decided she was going to make fish soup for all of the guests.
Is this all out of the kindness of their heart to share their island, or is this to make money? I assume you have to pay to do this. Not that takes away from it. You got to pay to do a lot of cool stuff these days. But this makes it sound like at the beginning it was almost like a passion project, which is pretty cool.
Well, that first year, they had well over 600 guests that came out here, so a little bit more than expected.
Huh.
And Olav and Siri, they decided to really focus on this garden forward, just to see if it would eventually take them.
Yeah.
That second year we had open, in 96, there was over 7,000 guests.
Wow. Wow.
The first thing that happened then is that Siri, she demanded we hire a chef, because this is way too much soup to make by yourself. And since then, this garden has just kept on growing and growing. And today...
So this is just spread by word of mouth. Is this just a famous place in Norway? It's funny because I have never heard of this before.
The property out here is about 70,000 square meters, with close to 60,000 square meters of planted lawns and flower beds. And on average today, we have close to 42,000 guests coming out here each season.
The guided tour included various zones, including...
Yeah, look at the different plants. This whole place is just overflowing with plants. You would never know this used to be an empty island. That was kind of ugly. And they put in some very exotic plants. This looks like bamboo or something.
Including a bamboo garden set around beautiful ponds with a winding path leading down to a Japanese garden featuring a relaxing koi pond.
What?
Another favourite spot is the exotic garden, filled with roses, lemon trees, stunning angel's trumpets, and banana plants that are extremely rare for Scandinavia.
They have done an amazing job with this island. Really amazing, actually. It's cool that they've brought in plants that aren't even native to Norway.
And then we came to the beach.
Beach.
And we opened up the beach garden in 2016. And when we first decided to make a garden up here, we had no clue what type of garden to make. The only thing we knew for sure was that we're going to try out something new. And then Olav, he started talking about how he wanted to have a beach. It's not just a regular...
Olav. Is that his name? Olav? Where is he? Is he still around? He has some pretty interesting ideas.
beach. No, that would be boring. We have plenty of those in Norway. This is going to be a tropical beach with waterfalls, white sand, palm trees, a beach bar, the whole package.
What?
What they managed to create here is just fantastic.
Yeah.
We didn't have the best weather on our visit, but I can imagine on a sunny day with the beach bar open, yes, a beach bar, this would be a really popular place to be while on the island.
Yeah. They did it. They actually built a tropical island in Norway. I didn't believe it. When I first saw this video title, I was like, tropical island in, what? In Norway? They actually did it.
Before the end of the tour, Robin explained that as the flowers are moved into the greenhouse during the off-season, every year they essentially start with a blank canvas for 50,000 flowers.
What?
Opened in 2022, the new greenhouse allows Flor Fjære to grow all its own flowers, collect and use the rainwater, and even grow the herbs that are used in the meals.
Wow.
This is becoming a really sustainable operation here.
Yeah.
Speaking of meals, with the guided tour over, it was time to enter the jungle greenhouse.
Okay.
With a name like that, though, I had no idea what to expect.
What the heck?
What I found was...
What the heck? This place is super cool. I've never heard of anyone doing something like this anywhere in the world. Creating a tropical island with all this. Look at all. This is where you eat. What an amazing experience this is. I don't care if it's a little touristy, if there's a lot of people. I don't even care. This is so cool.
Was exactly as advertised. It was a jungle restaurant in Norway.
Yeah.
Our group was shown to a quiet part of the greenhouse and served some snacks and drinks while we waited for the meal.
Very nice.
The meal is included in the package when you visit Flor Fjære, and it might vary, of course, but the menu I was served was a delicious creamy fish soup.
Fish soup. Very Norwegian.
Packed with flavour, beautifully presented halibut, and then locally produced ice cream.
Oh.
Followed up by coffee, of course.
Coffee. I think Norwegians drank a lot more coffee than I thought.
This meal was genuinely great and better than anything I had back in the city during my stay.
Oh, really?
And a lot of it came from the land and waters of this island.
That's cool.
A visit to Flor Fjære is not cheap, but personally I think it's good value considering it includes the transport, a guided tour, and a 3-course meal.
Not cheap. How expensive is this? 1,800 Norwegian krone is $164. Oh my. That is not cheap at all. That is not cheap. But I guess I do understand why people pay for it. That is expensive, actually.
Considering it includes the transport, a guided tour, and a 3-course meal. And I would happily pay it again to come back.
True. You get a lot. The transportation, the island, the food. It's an experience. An expensive experience. But you're probably worth it.
Lots of my family and friends who would absolutely love it here.
Yeah.
After the meal, you get some free time to explore the island.
Oh, okay.
If you find yourself waiting for the ferry before the departure time, pop into the small cafe and gift shop.
This place is crazy. Look at this. You just get to walk around this. This is in Norway.
Down by the port. Here you'll find some really nice t-shirts, mugs, and other souvenirs from Flor, Fjære, which, of course, you can only buy on the island.
Okay.
Wow, what a place. I've just got 1 hour or so left on the island before I have to take the boat back to Stavanger. So it's time for me to put the camera down and just have one more walk around this remarkable.
There we go. Look at that. Just look at it. It's mostly like walking around, which I know some people might find boring, but I think this is just incredible what they've done.
Place. If you are coming to Stavanger, I do highly recommend a visit here. It isn't cheap, but I think it's well worth the price. And if you are planning a visit to Stavanger, check this video out next.
That's true. You're also by Stavanger, like the city. So, yeah, you can take advantage of that. This was great. I was so confused by this. Like, I almost didn't believe it. A tropical island in Norway. Sure enough, it exists. Some eccentric, crazy Norwegian created it. And thank goodness he did. That is awesome. That is a really, really unique part of Norway. I had no idea it even existed. So I really enjoyed this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment if you know about Flor og Fjære. If you've ever been here, that'd be awesome to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and learning about Norwegian culture and seeing things from Norway I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.